Hello founders and startups of LinkedIn. Welcome to episode 3 of our Journey of Building a Mobile App series. In this episode, we'll be talking about the 5 things to look out for when choosing a platform to build your app. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. So number 1, it might be pretty obvious to most of you. Is the solution the best fit for you? Does it bridge the gap between the skills that you lack, and does it allow you to use the skills you have? You can't hire developers or in-house developers to build your app if you lack the technical knowledge to manage them. And the same probably goes with outsourcing to developers, as that also requires technical knowledge to manage the development of your app. You may actually just need to go to a development agency who can define, design, and test your app, but most of the time this can be quite expensive. So our industry expert recommends splitting your development tasks from the design side. Half of your tasks are allocated towards things like design, market research, designing the concept, and then the other half would be on testing and building the prototype. So you could probably do this in-house or with the help of like a small agency or a freelancer. You can then outsource the actual build of your app to someone that the agency knows, or a no-code, low-code platform. A lot of the times agencies actually use no-code, low-code platforms and use a skilled, trusted group of partners to then build your app from that platform. No-code app platforms like Reptile take out a lot of the cost aspect and the risk aspect of the actual build of your app by automating that process. We can also recommend to you our community of trusted partners to help bridge that gap, the skills gap that you may have between your idea and successful execution when building on a platform. So the second point to look out for when choosing a platform is cost. You get for what you pay for. Sometimes. So are no-code platforms a shortcut? Well, in short answer, yes. However, they do save significantly on cost, but you need to make sure the platform is right for you. And most of the time, an agency can help you do that. An agency that has used the platform, know how it works, so that their experience can determine whether the platform is actually right for the type of app you want to build. So therefore, they can actually validate if the platform's a good fit for you. So at Reptile, we actually offer you a free validation service where we meet and we use our 18+ years of app experience to identify all the tricky parts that you're going to face when building an app and what the solutions to those things are going to be before you even get to them. We'll only recommend you commence building your app on Reptile if we don't see any impossible obstacles to overcome. So we also partner with agencies, especially if they know your business area better than we do, and they bring in the expertise to bridge the gaps and we handle the build, so it's a win-win. So a few words of caution. Beware of outsourcing to cheap development agencies, especially offshore, as if you're going direct to development agencies, you have nobody else as a buffer if they let you down. You should also be really careful of building in-house. Specialist app developers are really expensive and job hop at an alarming rate. Once they're on your payroll, they are not really incentivized to finish the product as fast and as efficient as they can. And the risk of being fired is really no threat to them in a world where job opportunities are bountiful. So the third point, which is more of a question you should ask yourself before choosing a solution to use to build your app, is what happens if it all goes wrong? So there are 3 really common ways app projects could go wrong. The budget could get blown and your project just becomes a massive money pit. Your timescales go completely out of the window and the project becomes nothing more than an MVP and never gets fully finished. Break the project down and link payment and deliverables to each stage of your project. This is how we approach it. Discovery and project scope would be the first thing, which would be we recommend up to 20 hours to define your project, create some integration flowcharts, some early visual concepts. These should outline the stages of your project where you can then link costs to each stage and timelines. If you walk away at this stage, at least you then have a spec document you can use as a blueprint to shop around for the best fitted solution for you. However, if you're happy with the team that you have and the way that things are going, you can then move on to the next stage. We at Reptile would then build a prototype of your app and then share it on what we call our preview app, which you can then check in on your mobile devices. You can show this to investors, to your project managers, to your higher ups, to your organization, to clients. The list sort of goes on for the use cases of the preview app, which is demoing the prototype. We then build the app from that work, which is automated. Our software does that in only 20 minutes. You can add the integrations, all the data, the content, and the services which your app needs. Typical things to be aware of is that a typical dev project can be a bit vague around this topic and can plant the responsibility of your failed build onto you and the responsibility of an increasing cost over time or missed timelines and that sort of thing, so beware. The fourth and notable point of this topic is to be a good client. Dev teams have a magic get out of jail free card for change of scope or scope creep, to explain why something you thought for that was included in your price is now a paid for extra. This is often actually a legitimate argument, as devious, naive, or just outright disorganized clients can be masters at continuously bundling new upgrades and features and functionality into their project as they go along. As a client, you need to listen really carefully and actually have trust in your partner. You need to be a good client just as much as they need to be a good partner. If you sit on the other side of the fence, see that 90% of the time, the reasons that projects go over budget or timelines is that clients continuously change their mind about what they want out of their project. There are some organizations which we will never work with, as they are just too big and too chaotic, and we just don't really want to get drawn into their world and never be able to get out. Ask for advice, listen, and be open to it. Once the project begins, be ready for it and act quickly. Keep the project team small and agile. Shut the door on interfering voices that want to come in at the 11th hour and change things. Get stage 1 out and complete. Only then take comments and suggestions for changes. And the last point is find a solution that's going to help you with ongoing support. Apps have to be continuously updated with new software requirements mandated by Apple and Google stores. You will also need to keep changing them to incorporate new features and functions which you'll need. We would recommend assigning around 30% of your build budget to support upgrades in each of the years 1 and 2 after your build, and then that might drop down to about 20% in years 3 and 4. Your solution needs to factor this in. It can't just be a once-off build. It should be the start of an ongoing relationship. Once you embrace this, it makes getting your first app out so much easier. It is your alpha, your beta, your MVP, your proof of concept. Whatever you choose to call it, recognize that it's the first part. Tidy and defined projects are so much easier for everyone to handle and are much less likely to go wrong. We can rebuild iOS and Android apps in just 20 minutes and push the new builds straight through to stores. Constant improvement in the marketplace is the smartest way to evolve. Start small and grow. Cool, I really hope this video helped you guys understand a little bit better about really the process of choosing a solution that's right for you. And I hope you guys are finding this whole series valuable so far. The next episode will be out next Tuesday, so look out for that. And thank you so much for watching. If you missed the last 2 episodes, check out the Reptile LinkedIn page. They'll be up there. And yeah, if you guys want to know more on how these apply to you, feel free to reach out. The Calendly link to meet with the team will be above this video. And yeah, let's build something amazing together.